Hi Cowboys fans, I'm Carlos Eduardo, and today I want to talk directly to Cowboys fans about a moment that feels both like a celebration and a reminder of where we currently stand as a franchise. If I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, this week's news about CeeDee Lamb being named to his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl is exactly the kind of bittersweet headline we've grown used to lately. It's an honor, no doubt, and a massive accomplishment for a young man who has carried the weight of that number 88 jersey with incredible grace. But as we stand here in late January of 2026, looking toward San Francisco for the Pro Bowl games while the Super Bowl remains a dream for another year, I can't help but feel like we're at a crossroads. The league officially recognized CeeDee's impressive season this past Wednesday. After initially being overlooked in the first round of voting, he's moving up to take the place of Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, why is that spot open? Because Smith-Njigba is heading to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. From my perspective, that's the part that stings. We have the talent, we have the individual accolades, and we have the stars, but we're watching other young receivers play for the Lombardi Trophy while our guys are packing for a skills competition. It's a tough pill to swallow for a fan base that lives and breathes for February football. What I see on this roster, though, is a player in CeeDee Lamb who isn't just a star, he's becoming a living legend. Despite the team finishing with a disappointing 7-9-1 record and missing the playoffs for a second straight year, Lamb was a beacon of light in 2025. In just 14 games, he hauled in 75 catches for 1,077 yards and 3 touchdowns. When you break those numbers down, you're looking at a guy who was averaging nearly 80 yards a game in an offense that was constantly trying to find its rhythm under heavy pressure. In my opinion, this 5th Pro Bowl selection tells us a lot about Lamb's legacy. By reaching this milestone, he has officially tied the legendary Michael Irvin for the most Pro Bowl selections by a wide receiver in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Think about that for a second. We are talking about the Playmaker. We are talking about the heart and soul of the 1990s dynasty. To see CeeDee's name right next to Irvin's in the record books is a testament to his consistency. It's not just about one flashy season. It's about showing up year after year and producing at an elite level, regardless of who is throwing the ball or what the win-loss column looks like. If I'm being honest, the 88 Club is a heavy mantle to wear. When you put on that jersey, you aren't just playing for yourself. You're playing for the ghosts of Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, and Dez Bryant. You're playing for a lineage of excellence that defines what it means to be a Dallas Cowboy. And CeeDee hasn't just worn the number, he has owned it. He has become the engine that drives this passing attack, especially this year when the team made history by having 2 receivers selected for the Pro Bowl for the first time ever. Joining Lamb in San Francisco is George Pickens, who has been an incredible addition to this roster. This is the first time in franchise history that the league has recognized 2 of our wideouts in the same season. That tells you the weapons are there. The firepower is undeniable. But from my perspective, having 8 Pro Bowlers on a team that went 7-9-1 is a statistical anomaly that should keep Jerry Jones up at night. Think about the names on that list. Dak Prescott, Brandon Aubrey, George Pickens, Tyler Smith, and Quinnen Williams were all original selections. Then you add the replacements, CeeDee, Jake Ferguson, and Kevontae Turpin. That is a massive amount of high-end talent. When I look at this roster, I see a group that should be dominating the NFC East, not finishing second and watching the playoffs from the couch. This is Dallas football. This is expectation. This is pressure. We aren't just another team in the NFL. We are America's team. That title wasn't given. It was earned in the 1970s under the stoic leadership of Tom Landry and the captain comeback heroics of Roger Staubach. It was cemented in the 90s when the triplets, Aikman, Smith, and Irvin, turned the league into their personal playground. When we talk about the history of this franchise, we aren't just talking about sports. We're talking about a culture of winning that seems to be slipping through our fingers in the modern era. In my opinion, the 2025 season was a case study in frustration. We saw Dak Prescott put up solid numbers, but the lack of a consistent run game and a defense that struggled to stop the leak in crucial moments proved to be our undoing. We missed the playoffs again. For the second year in a row, the star didn't shine in January. And while I love seeing our guys get their flowers at the Pro Bowl, I know, and you know, that individual trophies don't fill the void of a 30-year championship drought. What I see on this roster is a core that can win, but the chemistry has to evolve. The addition of George Pickens gave us that vertical threat we've been craving, and seeing him and CeeDee work together has been a highlight of the season. They are arguably the most talented duo in the league, but football is won in the trenches and in the details. It's won in the fourth quarter against the Eagles when the division is on the line. It's won in the freezing cold of Washington or the hostile environment of New York. This year, we just didn't have enough of that clutch factor to tip the scales. If I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, the rivalry in the NFC East has never been more intense. The Eagles have found a way to stay consistent, and the Commanders are building something real under their new leadership. We can't rely on history alone to win games. The shadows of Bob Lilly and Randy White won't sack the quarterback for us. We need the current generation, the Micah Parsons, the Trevon Diggs, the CeeDee Lambs, to find that extra gear that turns a good season into a legendary one. Speaking of Micah Parsons, his absence from the Pro Bowl list this year, or rather, the way the defense performed in his hybrid role, has been a major talking point. We know Trevon Diggs is a ball hawk, but from my perspective, the defense as a whole lacked the identity we saw a few years back. We have the individual pieces, like Quinnen Williams in the middle, who earned his Pro Bowl nod by being an absolute force against the run. But a team is more than a collection of Pro Bowlers. A team is a brotherhood that functions as one. What makes the Dallas Cowboys special, though, is the unwavering support of the fans. Whether we're 13-3 or 7-9-1, the energy at AT&TStadium is unmatched. There is something truly magical about Jerry World. When the roof is open and the Texas sun is setting, and you see nearly 100,000 people screaming for the star, you realize why this is the most valuable franchise in sports. It's the passion. It's the history. It's the hope that this year, finally, will be the year. In my opinion, this move to name CeeDee as a Pro Bowl replacement is a well-deserved recognition of a player who refused to quit on a season that was falling apart around him. He played through injuries, he played through double teams, and he played with a target on his back every single Sunday. He tied Michael Irvin. That is not a small feat. Michael Irvin was the soul of the dynasty. He was the guy who demanded excellence from everyone around him. If CeeDee can take that same fire and lead this locker room in 2026, then we might be talking about a different kind of postseason next January. There's reason to believe that 2026 could be a massive turnaround year, with 8 Pro Bowlers returning and a draft that needs to focus on the offensive line and defensive depth. The ingredients are there. But as I always say, potential is just a fancy word for, you haven't done it yet. We need more than potential. We need results. We need the kind of dominance that makes opponents dread coming to Arlington. What I see on this roster is a window that is still open, but it's closing faster than people think. Dak isn't getting any younger, and while he played well this year, the clock is ticking on his legacy as a Cowboys quarterback. In this league, you are judged by the jewelry on your fingers. Staubach has 2. Aikman has 3. Until Dak gets 1, the comparisons will always favor the past. If I'm being honest, I'm excited for CeeDee. I really am. Seeing him in San Francisco next Tuesday, representing the star, is a proud moment for all of us. He's a former Oklahoma Sooner who has turned into a Dallas icon. He's only 26 years old. His best years are arguably still ahead of him. And joining forces with George Pickens. That's a nightmare for defensive coordinators for years to come. But my message to the team, and my message to you at home, is that we can't be satisfied with Pro Bowls. We are the Dallas Cowboys. We represent the highest standard in American sports. When we fall short of the playoffs, it's a failure. Plain and simple. The 7-9-1 record of 2025 has to be the floor, never the ceiling. We need to get back to the basics of Cowboys football: disciplined, aggressive, and relentless. From my perspective, the atmosphere in that locker room needs to shift from happy to be here to hungry for more. We saw flashes of it this year. We saw it in Brandon Aubrey's historic kicking streak. We saw it in Jake Ferguson's toughness over the middle. We saw it in Kevontae Turpin's explosive returns. These are the building blocks. But the foundation has to be stronger. As we look ahead to the festivities in San Francisco, and then Super Bowl 60 on February 8th, let it serve as motivation. Let the sight of other teams hoisting that trophy burn. Let it fuel the off-season workouts. Let it drive the film sessions. Because next year, I don't want to be talking to you about Pro Bowl replacements. I want to be talking to you about a parade in downtown Dallas. This is our team. This is our legacy. And through the highs and the lows, we stand together. CeeDee Lamb has carved his name into the history books alongside Michael Irvin, and that is something we should all celebrate today. He is elite, he is a cowboy, and he is just getting started. Keep your heads up, Cowboys fans. The star may be dim right now, but it never stops shining. We've seen the dark days before the 90s dynasty, and we've seen how quickly things can turn around when the right pieces click into place. We have the talent. We have the Jerry World advantage. Now we just need the execution. In my opinion, the journey to 2026 starts right now. Every catch CeeDee makes in San Francisco, every tackle Quinnen Williams makes in the Pro Bowl games, it all counts toward the momentum we need. Let's show the world that America's team isn't just a nickname from the past, it's a promise for the future. Thank you for being the most loyal fan base in sports. I'm Carlos Eduardo, and I'll be right here with you, breaking it all down, until we finally bring that 6th trophy home. Stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Cowboys.